Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you're going to learn about body language and nonverbal communication. What I'm going to do is teach you the signals you send out and how to read the signals others send out without even being consciously aware of it, okay? We all do it. It's our subconscious speaking the truth to the world. So if you are interested in the topic, please click like, please click subscribe, as I do have and are building a great catalogue of information on the topic in layman's terms, so it's not going to be too complex. And if you have any inquiries yourself, you can click the link in my bio to my Patreon, subscribe, and I will create videos for you. I'll get back to you and we'll learn together. So thank you very much, and without further ado, we're going to get on with the lesson. So today we're talking about seat straddling. Okay, so in the picture ahead of you, I'm sure you've seen that before. Someone is sitting on a chair backwards, right? So the legs are spread aside the backrest and the forearms may potentially be atop of the chair. Now, are the forearms crossed or are they direct or any alternates? That's for you to have a look at, but the bottom line is they're straddling the chair, okay? My apologies. So initially, personally, I thought this was a pretty cool thing. I didn't really do it personally, but I'd see other people doing this pose and I'd think they look pretty cool doing that, you know? I thought it was like a cool guy pose, sort of like an anti-system, anti-authority. I'm going to sit backwards on this chair. So my younger self actually thought this was quite cool. Now, the reality is quite the opposite, all right? So it's not that cool. What it is actually a very defensive, very insecure way of communicating and sitting on a chair. And I say that purely because they're using the chair as a shield and there's a way of blocking the body. So I've done a video on body blocking and what that means. This is textbook body blocking. So the chest, the genitals, the stomach, all concealed and hidden behind the chair, all right? So that means they're very fearful. They're actually threatened. They may look cool, but they're threatened by what's ahead of them or what's in their mind or so on and so forth. It's not necessarily what's in their mind, because this is, you won't see somebody do this by choice by themselves. Perhaps you're going to see it in like a social area, such as in a school, such as in an office, such as in anywhere where people do communicate while sitting on chairs, all right? Like a meeting of sorts, so on and so forth. In all honesty, we do see this quite regular, but I'd be very surprised if any form of professional person would sit like this, purely due to, you know, just due to the degree of how bold and overt it is. But maybe you do see it in a professional environment. So it hides the ventral side of the body and the genitals. As we know, we started to walk upright. In our evolutionary process, our torso became very vital to our existence purely because now our internal organs were on show, so now we have to cover that up, right? So subconsciously we will do so through a variety of means, such as sitting on a chair like this, right? So it's also, on parallel to the fearful aspect, it's also actually quite aggressive and a little bit territorial. And why we would approach that is because the legs are spread. So you might not be able to see the genitals, but there's sort of like a half-assed sort of, I'm scared, but I still want to try it on and appear dominant aspect to this behaviour, because there is an exposure of the genitals in the actual physiological aspect of things. The legs are spread, taking up more space than they should do if they were just sitting on the chair normally, so they're actually expanding and taking up more space, which is territorial behaviour. And the exposure of the genitals can be deemed as, somewhat aggressive. If that chair wasn't in the way, that would be a power display. But considering the chair is there, it's sort of like the person is in conflict as to what they really want to get across. All right? So it's two conflicting statements. And this is why body language, it's really important that you pay attention to clusters of behaviour and the context of the behaviour and the environment and so on and so forth, because just looking at isolated instances is just like one word of a sentence. You want to hear the whole sentence to really understand what's going on. So that's that. The chair is used as a barrier, so it's a form of body blocking. And it does appear powerful, but realistically it signifies fear in the face of an attack. Okay, the arms. What are the arms doing? Because the arms may actually accent the either aggressiveness or the defensiveness of this particular behavior. Alright, so if the arms are crossed atop, it forms an even bolder barrier. And this may be the case, you know. There's not too much room for your arms atop of this, so unless they're reaching outwards, resting their arms, or if they just have their arms beside them, like push their chest up against the back of the chair, they're probably going to be on top, entwined, alright? And if that's the case, that's like a doubled up barrier. That's a really scared position to be in, okay? So if you ever do see this behavior, it's not a good one, it's a defensive one, and it shows insecurity within the individual. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click like, click subscribe, ask a question of your own. I'll create a video, I'll go into heavy depth. Just click the link in my bio. Bye.